So, this is gonna be a learning experience for me too, because this is the first time I've ever done this. Elaine.
Hi.
So, tell me. Immediately after all these events, how does Eleanor spend the rest of her life?
Well, there is much work to do, she says. Well, I believe she would spend the first moment of her life trying to fix up the Empire, trying to help those who were caught in the middle of the battle, and to give aid to them. One of her big check marks is to build an orphanage and to rehouse a lot of the children that were maybe lost their parents or their caretakers during the war. And she generally just wants to help, rebuild the city and get it to a point where it can start to function again. And I'm sure that as, this is happening, there's going to start being questioning of what happens from here in terms of leadership and just how the empire is going to, run. And so I think from then on she will kind of get back in contact with all of the Bloodhawks and say, hey, so I know we kind of conquered this place. I think we kind of need to run it as a government of some sorts, if you're willing, of course. But if you are interested in something like that, come talk to me.
So, in this time, it is a extremely difficult process. As time goes on, it is difficult to rebuild, as the Fey crossing that you built is constantly tearing it apart and building it back up in nature. It also doesn't help that at around every corner when you feel like you've cleared an area, more Fey creatures just pop out of the woodwork. So, to build something that's going to last, you're going to need to be aware of that.
I see. So since this time has passed, how much has changed in terms of the other cities outside of the Empire? Where did we come from?
What do you
The city that you grew up in. Tulok. Yeah. What's going on there?
I believe that may come up in other people's epilogues.
Okay.
But for the most part, this city has been removed from jurisdiction of the Empire. After this city has fallen, a lot of the Empire has been left in ruins. Parts of Tulog were being prepared to have another anti-magic field set up around it. But they were in the process of this, and after this massive blow to their empire, they stopped funding on this project to attempt to rebuild what they currently still have. But for now, that's all you know.
Okay. In that case, I'll start smaller. Lex.
Hi.
Maybe you could have a little time.
Yeah, we do.
So, I guess at this point, we've gone back home to Scalahold.
Hold on. Jesus Christ. Please tell me. No, somebody was calling me. We're good. We're good. It's still recording.
So at this point, I'm assuming that we've gone back to Scalahold, and they're grading the plan for the first time. I don't know who made it from the war.
There were a number of fatalities. The previous leader that had been holding for you did end up passing.
No, Oliver!
He did end up passing.
Damn.
Which leaves the seat open.
Okay.
So, Lex. Hey.
Hi.
Son. How
Yeah.
are you?
Well, still shaken up, but
Yeah, understandable.
yeah.
Listen, I want to have a little talk, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
So how would you feel about being the next clan leader of Ehseara?
This bitch is 14.
Dump your responsibility to this 14-year-old.
Trauma. Boom.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay to say no.
Well,
Do you need me?
I need to pause.
So, Lex, do you want to take over the clan?
How old were you when you started meeting, or when, at the very least, you and Dad?
No, I'm in my early 20s. No, I was 18.
Well, that's actually funny because I wanted to ask you something. I feel like there's so much that I've yet to do in my life. You know, I was, in Scholarholds for like 12-ish years, and then I ran away, and then I was with Drunhearts for a year, and then I came back, and then I defeated an evil tyrant who was also a giant red dragon. And I feel like I'm not done yet.
Oh,
It wouldn't be for long, probably. Probably like anywhere from like 3 to 30 years. But I might want to go just explore the world and sail.
she just smiles.
I mean, I know that you want the... I'd still love to be chief, but I think it might just be a little too early.
It's fine.
Give it another 5-ish years, maybe?
Okay. Perhaps I could ask your father to keep things in check
I'm sure he can. And if
for a while.
not, because I don't think I'm going to be going with Drunheart, I kind of want this to be my own thing. We could always have Drunheart keep him in check. I'm sure he'd be happy to do that for a bit.
Surely. And of course there are other people in the clan that can, keep things afloat. I
Yeah.
hope so at least. No, do not worry about it. It'll be okay.
Okay.
I was just curious if you,
Well, I'd love to, just not right now. Give it a few years, and I think after I've had my childhood adventures, we'll call it, I'll settle down and be chief.
Good. Well, as for me, it's been tricky trying to help those in the Empire since everything fell, and it feels like every time we make an improvement, it just comes crumbling down because of all the Fae, and I get it, they're just free-range creatures. They just do whatever they want, and they don't give a shit about what anybody else thinks, so we may never fix what happened, but...
That might have to be something of a higher power than us.
For sure.
It is something that's much more, I'd say, a mix of astral and arcane.
Definitely. Well, I'm proud of you. I'll always be. And I hope that you see more of the world than I ever did.
I'll send you souvenirs everywhere. And I can always telepathically communicate with you.
Send lots of jewelry and clothes.
Will do.
I love dumping my order.
Oh, of course. But I'll always outflash you now that I'm going to be out and about.
Alright, well, when are you leaving?
Well, I think I'd want to get everything in check and say some goodbyes. About a week, maybe.
Alright.
Need a ship from Drunheart, too, maybe. Maybe he knows somebody.
Alright, ship.
I could buy a ship!
Oh, we could build one. An Ehseara ship!
That would take
We have money.
That would take much longer than a week, though.
I know. Yeah.
I'll buy it. A very
Put it
expensive.
in the works.
Yes, well, I'll buy a big one.
Alright. Well, I think I'm gonna go tend to some Empire-related things.
Alright.
See you in a bit.
Yeah.
I'll make dinner.
Alright.
Your favorite.
Yes.
What is your favorite? What is his favorite meat?
Oh, jeez. Well, I think Lex, growing up, his favorite thing would have probably been, oh, jeez. Honestly, with also his taste in being in the sea for a long time, I was about to say calamari, but no. I almost said it, but that would never happen. He changed his ways in the 3 months after having Gideon. It would probably be like trout or something of the aquatic.
Ooh.
That isn't calamari or octopus or anything of a cephalopod descent.
Well, Eleanor probably has never eaten a fish before.
Aren't you guys underwater?
No, it's
We're
a
in the
mountain.
mountains, kind of, like in a valley.
You could get that from the Empire.
And she thinks they smell bad. So she doesn't like stanky fishy. So she's probably gonna make him a nice steak
That's fine.
with potatoes.
You'd be like, it's fish.
It's fish. Look, there's scales on it.
Yeah, maybe we should stay away from scales after the
Okay. So.
Jump.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Jesus Christ!
It was said!
It wasn't! She just looked at you.
Oh.
Hi. Welcome back, honey.
Hi. What happened?
Men,
I was paying attention, I
Pay
swear.
attention at all.
We don't know what we did.
It just got silent and I got confused.
Okay.
It's because she was staring the entire silence.
Alright.
So, obviously, Leonor and Ambrose have had some little tippies here and there. I think we need to figure this shit out.
Yes.
So, where could I find Ambrose at this moment in time?
It's probably been how many years?
Oh, we're at years at this point.
Oh.
We're in years?
Are you at years?
I don't think
Or is
we
this
are.
immediately after? Because is this
Let's
at
go.
the point you've done the orphanage and all that? I'd say it's probably been about a year, probably.
Okay.
Maybe half.
We'll do like almost a year.
It can happen at any time in your epilogue.
Where do I find you?
I guess in the time span, I wanted to say something to each of you in my time in the throne room before I talked to anyone else. But I guess after that sort of time, regardless of what happens, I'll be around the capital, also trying to help put things back together with the little tools that I have. Mostly, I'm making trips to and from my hometown just to see how things have been going. So I guess you kind of catch me using the army to try and put a building back together or something. Like a really sadistic, malicious foreman.
So how about I meet you in Tuluk?
Okay. In that case, I am currently at the site where I used to live, the old library, which was burned to the ground, and I'm trying to put it back together.
Would I know anything about this building as of
I have not told you anything about this though.
Okay. So I guess I'll meet you at the library.
Okay, so I guess coming to me at this, it's definitely how well do you think I could put together a library if I had a sum of undead moving things around?
Not well.
It's very bare bones.
It's functional,
It's functional.
but it's not pretty.
It's definitely not pretty. And yeah, just there's a lot of wear and tear. Definitely trying to get the foundations on was like the most struggle because it's undead, but you know, it's there and I'm ordering them around. It's like, no, this goes here, yes. It has to be perfect, just a little bit to the left. Okay, that's too far to the left, too
Leonard
far.
walks in onto this scene of him mangling his people.
Hello.
Hey! Having a little trouble, I see.
To some extent, they're not exactly the brightest of things. No offense. They may do.
Well, it looks pretty good. You're doing great.
It's my best, and my best is not always the best, but I try.
That's something.
Yes.
How are you doing? Are you holding up?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I feel like I'm kind of in a very odd state at this point. A lot of things have transpired since then, and I've had a lot on my plate. But it's been something. And I've been trying to make the most of what little time I have with this summer before putting things back together before reestablishing whatever we can as a sense of order in the city. But yes, it is hard work, but we are hard at work.
Indeed.
How are you?
I'm good. Lex is sailing and exploring the world.
Sailing.
Yeah.
I always wanted to travel out and see the world.
Me too. Oh, it's all I dreamed of as a girl, but
When I was a child, the people that I was living with, this girl who I had grown very fond of, Elora. She always had massive aspirations of going out and
What?
Shut up.
You are not the only person whose brain went there.
I didn't have to suggest it.
I didn't hear what you said.
What's going on?
she had massive aspirations. I'm so sorry.
Ah,
We just
ah.
went in the same.
I'm done. I'm
You
done.
suck.
Her aspirations were like triple D.
They were All right, what happened to no talking when it's on our check? Okay.
You're not allowed to talk. Anyways, yeah. Massive dreams. She just had dreams. She had dreams of going out and seeing the world. Just her and me together. And while I did eventually do that, it wasn't the best of times. Though I did manage to find some good company. I will say that. Very good company. Do you have any dreams of your own that you would like to fulfill?
No, I'd love to see the world, but I'd also love to be the richest queen in the empire. I mean, all this money that we found after killing that thing, and
I meant to tell you. While this has been my plan, it has adapted over the years, and I feel like given time, if you choose, I want to include you in it. If it's not too big of a mind you, this is a very large ask, but I can't hope to rebuild this entire city alone. And I would very much appreciate Planahara's help and your help, of course, in putting things right in a way. I need to know something. What do you think of me as a person?
well, at first I thought you were insufferable,
That's
but
fair.
you seem to have grown on me quite a bit. I believe that everyone has shitty things that happen in their life that make them act the way that they do, but it does not give them an excuse to be the way that they are. But it does give me some idea of how I could lead that person in a better direction, or at least see some good in them, knowing that we all go through trouble. And once I started to realize where all your hatred and anger came from, and getting to witness it firsthand, it made me better understand why you felt the way that you did. But now that everything's fallen and we're in stages of reconstruction, I do believe that we both have the capabilities of being good people and helping those who need it, especially you.
I believe so.
So I think at heart you are a good person.
When I first started this journey, I probably meant to say this time and time again in several ways, but I didn't want to come back from the journey that I started. When I first started to do this, I didn't think I would ever come back. It would be some hopeless charge to send myself and a couple other unfortunate souls in my own unfortunate way to the grave, where I could just end everything. All that noise and pain. But over time, although it had its insufferable moments, I think it changed into something good. And I want to... Okay, this is a lot of words.
Take your time.
No, don't shut up. I'm sorry.
That is such a Joe moment.
No way.
I want to do something beautiful with you. And he's trying so hard to make this sound like he's trying to reach out a hand, but he is failing utterly. And he's just it is a struggle, but he's trying to really, really sound profound. And he tries to put that on his face as he basically discusses he wants to spend more time with you and whatnot.
She takes his hand and smiles at him. And she doesn't really know what to say at first, but she kind of nods and says, I want to build something with you too. I want to build a better world, but also a better relationship between us and the people that we have in our lives. And I think we can start right here between a human and a tiefling.
When he if he hasn't already removed his headband by now, he's taking it off. And
Didn't you trade it to Bullion?
no, he traded his horn.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah, he
right.
kept it.
He still has the headband. There still has the. I'm gonna save all this stuff for when it comes to my turn, and y'all are gonna have to sit and wait. Okay. I'm not gonna say too much. All right.
Yep.
So yeah, and he just kind of lightly touches, and that's all. And I guess wherever this goes is sort of up to you. I guess
Are you saying that in character or out of character?
this is out of here.
Okay. Alright. How much, jurisdiction do I have over what is happening?
If just keep going, and
Okay.
if something comes up where I need to step in, I will step in.
Okay. Never done this before, but I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like any of
Go
us have
for
ever
it.
done
Go
this.
for it, girl.
Yeah.
We're losing our epilogue together.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
that's
listen, I'd rather do it with no one else.
So sweet.
You're thinking too much about this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to tackle that. Oh my god.
Okay. I want to read what I wrote down that I want.
Okay.
Hopefully that will make things make sense. I think we would make really good leadership, sir. So, can we be rulers of a new empire?
Over time, I will say,
Empire.
I think there is enough backbone and there is enough people in this party that would aid you in dismantling this empire. We'll get deeper into that later. But there are enough people to assist you in dismantling what is left and leaving essentially the organization in shambles. Leaving whoever's left to skulk in the shadows and leave whoever's to hunt those people down
You're hunting.
for them. I have no idea for them. But we were able to turn Tulog eventually after a dynasty raid and essentially setting up outside the city. Eventually they surrendered, giving up the city to the dynasty. An alliance between you and the queen. They've allowed the current strongest contender for leadership of the Ehseara clan to claim Tulog as their own.
What about? Oh wait, no, I can't say anything. It's not my thing. So, next
So
question.
then, yeah, I'll claim Tulog.
You rule side by side with Ambrose.
What is our kind of power?
Well, you do not hold as much power as the dynasty.
Got it.
You are within the jurisdiction of the dynasty,
Okay.
working in an alliance with them. You have not fully extricated from your village, of course, that's sacred ground. But for your clan, most people that once lived in your clan now call this city home. And call the village of Scalaholt sacred grounds, and it's more of a place now for people to visit.
Okay. Yeah. And I think during this time, how many years would you say that would be?
To take it over,
Yeah.
I'd say it's probably been about maybe 25, just for that whole thing. So you're about maybe 59.
Okay.
If you're aging up right now.
Cool. So I think during that time,
Late 50s.
before I, become ugly at 50 years old.
I'm saying she's gotta age well. She's gotta
She's
age
gonna
well.
age well. Like while we're still in the 30s, early 40s. Get off your phone.
I'm sorry. I just
Prevalent.
checking notifications.
Do you think we fall in love?
You have to say it like that.
Yeah, I did because it's kind of awkward making your D&D characters fall in love with each other.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, yeah, yeah.
Can we have like 7 kids?
God.
Okay,
That
okay, okay, no, wait. How about we have like 3 and then we adopt 4 like orphans?
Is Ambrose fertile?
Is he
Probably.
Breedable.
I
Are you know? He's definitely
No!
breedable.
I thought.
He's breedable, but is he
I-
fertile? I'm sorry.
I'm pretty sure I am, aren't I?
Roll a d20.
Don't tell me roll the fucking d20 for this shit.
I'll roll a d20.
Oh yes.
It wasn't a natural 1, which is the only DC that would have mattered.
Oh.
Yes, you are fertile.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Is that a
So,
science fair
Ambrose
or-
and
Figure
How
out
many
you
children
fucking
do you
will. What?
We'll have 3 and then we'll dock 4.
I'll,
How does
yeah.
that sound? You're the partner, you get to.
I'll
approve
allow
this.
that.
Okay.
Yes, fine. Yeah, sure.
Cute.
You'll allow it.
No.
God damn, these kids are gonna hate you.
So many siblings.
I think
I'd
I'd
also be a
You may-
grandfather.
Bring me the information
Oh,
later,
ew. I
but
have
your
so many
3 kids
siblings
that were
now.
born
Yeah.
are born of infernal bloodline. So all 3 of them come out tiefling.
Tiefling. Cool.
What color are they?
And what color?
Tiefling babies.
What color
I mean,
Tell it.
Does this bird give birth to a tiefling?
No, their horns grow in as they get older.
Got it.
Yeah.
I mean, the only color that they have to work off of is just gray. So that's also partly due to like.
It's parts of your skin tone and a general paler skin tone, like regular human shade, like tanner.
Oh,
Yeah.
like white bitch.
Yeah.
Let's bust out the Punnett Square. Do the math.
What are the? Do
Jasmine
they have
hands were red
horns?
and
Do they have
pink.
horns?
Yeah. They all have horns.
Huh.
People with baby horns.
What is like the? Are you gonna steal it? At least no.
Stealing my thunder.
Never mind. It's not my story, so you can all the questions.
Yeah. So, and I think what a lot of we do during this time is emphasizing that there should be peace between humans and non-humans, trying to kind of set a new precedent for the Empire as we try to fight off the bad people. I mean, yeah, that's like pretty much what I wrote down that I wanted to do. We have a really dark and edgy wedding.
Oh yes.
That has to happen.
Everyone.
Do we all reunite?
Everyone
Oh,
that
yeah,
wants to
we
be
all-
there.
Do you want?
Do we all reunite for it?
Yeah.
So Dalen's
It's
closet?
not invitations and stuff.
Everyone gets invited to our wedding. The whole clan, everyone, the people that may or may not be resurrected if they died. Fine.
Not a lot of people were resurrected. It's a very expensive thing. You gotta have very powerful friends.
I don't know. I mean, what am I supposed to do, Ken? What else?
At the end of your epilogue, there is a moment where whoever's left in the Bloodhawks, maybe 60 or so years later, you all gather at a very, very large procession of people in a pyre shrouded in black feathers. It's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just natural. And you eventually, one day, just pass peacefully. You, in your last moments, as you lay in bed, you fall into sleep, and you find yourself walking along a snowy forest trail. You remember this so many years ago. And you see the spot where Lucinda walked away. You see where Mindy left. You see where Fawaz stood. You see where many of your friends and family who've passed. And at night, you watch them move on. For some, it's difficult. For others, and for most, they're just moving on to another level of existence. And you know, this is your time. It's your turn. You see a long, expansive pathway. You simply walk it. You wait for the matron. She does not appear. And you finally reach a wide, expansive valley. And you just see this beautiful horizon in front of you. And you feel a presence next to you. In your time, you have dabbled in the arts of death. You know this presence. You felt it so many times, and to you, it's almost felt like a second pair of skin. No words. You look to know what you will find. It is an outstretched hand. A cloak of raven feathers and a porcelain mask. With their hand outstretched to you.
Come here, and she goes over and grabs Mommy Mommy's hand.
So as you reach your hand into hers, she guides you into the valley. Lex,
Oh, jeez.
Oh god.
After that, really, Kenny?
Can someone pass me the tissue?
that's numero uno,
That's
y'all.
one of nine.
Numero uno.
That's one of 9, guys. Holy shit.
I know.
God,
Alright.
I'm like not crying right now. I don't know why. I'm
Shut
so
up.
happy.
I was on the
for her.
brink. I was on the brink.
You made it. You made it to the end.
I'm not crying, you're crying.
You did it. That was amazing.
Listen, you cry at characters that are not yours more than you cry at your own.
Alright. Well,
So Lex,
yeah.
immediately after the battle,
After the battle,
what do you do with
Well-
the rest of your life? And I believe with your new abilities, you will live for about.
well, actually, we'll get to that.
Oh,
No.
got it.
So, with Eleanor now alive, and all the responsibilities he thought he would have to take at the immediately after now, no longer on his shoulders, he does help with the year before being asked about becoming chieftain, helping fix up some places, helping with the orphanage, and using a lot of the money, not only to the people of the empire, but also to those in the clans who have lost their soldiers and the people too, reimbursing the families. Also in that year, which was very heavy for him, he would, I would assume in that time, still go to Eleanor for guidance regarding the Raven Queen and kind of follow in her footsteps, but a little different. Rather than taking a more clerical approach, he would become more of a paladin and swear an oath to protect anyone and everyone, as he still sometimes comes with the guilt of not being of being at fault for having Mindy die against Rune, and for not being there in that moment to save Eleanor when he could have. Obviously he'd follow her tenets to a T and swear an oath to be a protector. Once being given the green light to become a sailor and sail the seas, he would go to, before in that week of preparation, he would go probably to 2 people. The first one being to Jasper to kind of learn more about better martial fighting than just a dagger.
Yeah.
You would teach him how to use a scimitar and a short sword. And he would also go to Helias for firearms, teach him how to use a flintlock.
Yo!
Alright, so I kind of
Yeah, you first,
I kind of
yeah.
learned this on the fly. The other guy learned it, and I'm just continuing what he did, but I'll show you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so just aim and shoot, I guess?
Yeah, I hand him Talon. I don't own other firearms.
I would assume in that time he would have gone to, the Asari, or the Asari for a flintlock from Phantomius, so he has a flintlock for this specific purpose. So just aim and shoot, I guess.
Yeah, but you gotta kind of, and I as a player have absolutely no clue how it works.
We don't know how guns work, guys.
I teach him.
Okay.
So he learns, I'd say it takes him a day or two to just kind of get the basics down, because he's gonna
First time you ever fire Talon, you eat shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then in the next couple of days before he prepares to head out, he would go to Jasper and learn how to use the short sword, scimitar, anything the smaller, more martial like
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know why I keep blanking on this. What is Jasper's home city called?
Toolsop.
Tulsa. Thank you. I don't know why.
TULSOU.
Thank you. SOU?
SOU.
I've been writing SOL. Anyway. So
It
Jasper.
might be SOL.
This is what? How long after the raid?
This is like about, I'd say half a year.
All right. So you run into Jasper in Tulsa, where you expect to find her in the home of the artist, and she asks you, and she goes, "Oh, kid, you're gonna hate this shit." And she puts you through the most rigorous training. You were blinded for about 4 days.
Shit.
She's tied a bandana over your eyes, and she says, "If you take this off, I'm cutting a finger off."
Gotcha.
And puts you through the most brutal type of sword training with a rapier. And she actually eventually gives you one of her favorites. This thin, almost like a samurai sword, but shorter, a thin blade with 2 ribbons that kind of dangle off the edge, the tattered, her only remaining sword from the beginning of the game. And she kind of hits it over me and she goes, "I've killed a lot of little boys with this sword."
Good to know. I'll kill a lot of adults with it.
And at this point, her eyes she's gotten used to the daylight.
Yeah.
And as you train with her, she scares the shit out of you because she has continuously kept up with her arts training.
Better her than Kalaris.
Yes, and she trips you a lot. You leave with a lot of bruises, but you leave with this beautiful sword. And she sends you on your way.
I love the training difference between, oh, you want to learn? Here's my massive gun versus the full Daredevil treatment.
Yeah, you were
Yes.
blinded for at least a week. Like, it was horrible.
You're awesome.
You're bumping into walls.
For a week, so I don't think that's enough to get Tremor Sense or Blind Sight or anything like
Yeah.
that.
Do I get proficiency in firearms and?
You do.
Yes, and I'll take proficiency in a rapier as well.
It's Dex.
Yes, that's
Right.
fine with me. I'll probably become more dexterous. I don't care.
And I'll show you a picture of the rapier later.
Amazing.
Oh, wait, I can actually show it to you now.
So yeah, get that up. I guess for the next, I think we agreed like 5-10 years after that. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
so,
So this is the one she's lost, but that's the one that she gave away.
it looks very throwable. Very,
You're amazing.
Very cute
You're
art.
amazing.
Very cute art.
Go for
So
it.
yeah, for the next 5-10 years, Lex would sail the sea and gain his own band of pirates, learn with Drunhart, sail with Drunhart for a bit, and be his own captain. He'd explore just like Drunhart did, and in memory of the one person who took care of him in that year, and in memory of Drunhart and Wesley, because we don't know, I don't know what happens to Drunhart, but he would name his crew and his ship the Storm's Lament
Oh.
in memory of them.
Oh, I like that.
And in that time, he would also take everybody one at a time during those years to go sailing, explore some place, show him his favorite places. He'd hopefully discover some new islands, places that, I don't know if they'd be uninhabited, but new places obviously they've never seen, and maybe places that just haven't been discovered yet.
He's
And
a
then-
colonizer.
in that time,
A good colonizer! A good, no, not the bad one, not the
so
bad one.
about how old is Lex?
Really settling in.
I would say, at this point,
How many years have gone by?
well, I would say it's been about 7, so he's 21.
Wow. He can drink.
He's a man.
Yay!
He can drink with Jasper.
He's 21.
He's
drinking with-
legal.
He's drinking with everybody. Fuck
Ew,
off.
no.
No.
What else do you think Lex does in his life?
Well, during the rest of the 10 years, so he would finish off when he's about, I'd say, 25 or so, he would also probably come across someone that he falls in love with and maybe gets married. And after that time, he'd come... Scroll.
Jasper's disappointed
Give me
somewhere
grandkids.
across
I want
the world.
grandkids.
That's the reason why, is because she wants grandkids.
How many kids do you have?
I'll get to that. I got more things. So after those times, he'd probably come back, and he would probably, I guess in this part, learn that Scalahold has become more of a safe haven and sacred grounds rather than an actual place to rule. So I think knowing that, he'd probably go back to the Empire, or what was the Empire, and figure out what she wants him to do now that their original promise of a couple years has been up. And things have changed since he's been on the sea. And he's a beard now. Oh, yeah.
He's a beard?
Yeah, wait.
Okay.
That's what he looks
that
like.
That's your son. Leave it alone.
So it was a
Eleanor.
scimitar because I didn't know that you
No.
know. I will change it to the rapier though.
But he
And
keeps
No.
it.
he keeps it. Oh, he keeps it. Absolutely. What?
It's his new favorite weapon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is my favorite toy.
I'll
So
assume at some point you got it magic-fied.
yeah. Oh fuck yeah. I'll have it shoot out fucking thunder.
Woo.
'Cause-
Thunder sword.
Yeah. Or no, it would probably still have some eldritch magic from when he still had that shit with Rune. But yeah, you can probably go back and figure out, because that would be 10 years after all this, if she wants to keep ruling or if she wants him to take the mantle. I would assume that at that point she still says that she'll keep it.
Well, I'm assuming at some point the crown of antlers gets passed on to him.
Well, yeah, I would say. How long would that be from?
Would it be its death?
Oh no, definitely not.
It should be.
This woman would want to like retire at some point.
She would be most likely in her 50s at this point.
Okay, yeah, she wants to spend time with the grandkids.
Okay.
Take them shopping.
Yeah.
And your children?
How old is Lex at this point?
And
Lex, at this point, if it has been about 20-ish years, he would be in his early
So
30s.
it's been 20 years about?
About.
Okay.
It would be about 34 years old, he'd take up the
I
mantle.
mean, know when you hit about 30 years.
He is 30.
30 years since the campaign.
Oh, 30 years since the campaign. Got it. So, I was going to say for the next 30 years from when he is now, he would become the ruler, and he would also have 2 kids. Twins, actually. One named Dryden, nicknamed Dry, Wallace O'Hara, named after Drunhart and Wesley. And Lucy, also nicknamed Luce, Molly O'Hara, named after Lucinda and Mindy. And during this time, he would do
He was riding what?
Dryden Wallace O'Hara.
Okay.
And
Fuck you.
Lucy
I'll live.
Lucy Molly
Oh.
O'Hara. So
around this time,
yes.
during this point, about 30 years later, it does come to your attention that Drunhart does eventually pass away. It's not quiet, nor should it ever be.
Oh God, what happened?
You get word that his ship sunk, and he fought like hell solo and went down with his ship to let his crew escape.
He would be sad, but almost in a happy way.
You know,
Because
he
he-
knows the way
He knows that's exactly the way that Drunhart would want to go. And how's Vakir doing during this time as well?
Vakir is similar age to Eleanor,
Okay.
so he's probably got a few more years on him. But honestly, Vakir probably in this whole big thing probably attempts to become head of the Royal Guard
He would want.
and part of the actual guard in the city, and ends up training most of them personally. And for him at least, you don't know if he fully forgives himself, but he has restarted his life. He still makes time for you, of course.
Oh yeah.
But he has moved on to a much better path.
Yeah. And also during his time as I guess chief or king or whatever, he would want advisors to help him make sure he doesn't do the dumbest shit. So he would most likely ask Gideon, if he's still on this planet, don't know,
He is.
Emberos, Osin, Estrella, and Phantomius to be advisors. Now, the reason I don't say Kalaris or Sylvath is because he would want Jasper to be the godmother of Lucy, and he would want Helias / Sylvath to be the godfather of Dryden. He thinks that you, and if you're with Kalaris, either way,
I don't know if I have one.
I don't get
Poor
there.
dad.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna assume, but
You can assume Jasper.
Who were the
is.
advisors? Osin, Ambrose.
Osin, Emberos, Estrella, Phantomius, and Gideon. And I think I said Ralphie too.
I think Estrella
If not,
stays
I don't know what
for
the fuck you are, but
a little bit.
if you're there, you could be temporary.
I think
Well,
Estrella
yeah, we'll get to
accepts initially, but then immediately needs to not.
Yeah.
I think he...
It wouldn't be like an advisor of war. It would just be like, hey, Estrella, do I do this or not? Or
Oh yeah, no, he'll give you advice all the
yeah,
time.
it's because he's smart.
Was Phantomius on that list?
Yes, Phantomius was on the list.
So there's 5.
I
Five
think you'd
advisors.
also often get unprompted advice from Jasper.
Oh
that is
yeah.
not
Well, I mean,
helpful.
everyone's like honorary, but he would have the
And
official.
Gideon.
Yeah, he would have the
That's
official.
interesting.
Osin, Ambrose, Estrella, Phantomius, and Gideon.
Yes.
Ambrose would accept the title, but he would also be off on his own.
Yeah, I mean, it's more of like,
He is your dad now.
Yeah.
Yes,
Frothy
Yeah.
would accept the title too, but also
yeah, I mean, like
Frothy is-
everyone would have
Phantomius.
an honorary title, but those who would want to stay official and like be there when he needs heavy decisions, most of the time would be an official advisor. Everyone else, because of the Bloodhawks, would be like pop-in advisors, pop in, pop out.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this is his found family. He
Getting fucking destroyed.
He can't do shit. He needs everyone's guidance,
So,
especially being the youngest.
Lex.
Yes.
How long does Lex live?
Well, Lex would stay chieftain as long as he could, probably reaching around his 60s or 70s before giving it to Lucy. After Lucy showed more interest in becoming the next leader than Dryden did.
She's tough as nails.
Exactly why I gave her to you. Obviously, I feel like at that point Dryden would be head of the Royal Guard, as Vakir would be long gone. Just because also hunting and like all that shit.
Oh yeah,
I don't-
I showed up and I'm like, so Godfather's like, do they take trips with like the god?
No,
Kid? Like,
oh no. So
should I take him into the wilderness for like
Well,
a
you
week?
can sure.
and
Listen,
show him the ropes?
oh God. As Godfather, if I croak, if I die, you take care of him. He'd be your legal responsibility. I will let you do what you want with him. He obviously wants to explore, like me when I was younger. You can send him out to the wilderness, you can teach him to hunt and shoot and all that you want. Just, if he dies, I'm killing you and Sylvath.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. Believe me, I didn't.
Yeah, I trust you. That's why I want him to be in your care.
All right, absolutely. Yeah, just whenever he starts wanting to get out there, you know where to find me.
I'll send him right to you. How does Jasper react to being Lucy's godmother? Or godparent? I don't know what.
She just smiles at you. She goes, "Come on, Lucy, let's go learn about knives."
Please don't make her blind!
What? No, of course I'm tying the bandana on. Okay, so what you're gonna do is you're trying
Well,
to
it's better than
sense the
being actually blind, and it's better than being physically blind for her life. I don't want her to stab herself in the eye.
What's wrong with being blind?
Oh.
Nothing. But
Now, Lucy, we're gonna go learn how to fuck Daddy over anytime he's being bad.
Oh, great. It's
That
fine.
child will be hell for you.
Oh, it's fine. We need a problem child
She
in the
steals
family.
all your shit.
Always.
He's got high perception at this point, but she learns from the best.
Dryden plays with mud.
Yes. But yeah.
Spends too much time with Osin.
Yeah. Oh, I would assume as
Small
well.
earthy boy.
I would assume the reason for this as well is because Lucy would grow up to be a strong fighter while still wanting to be queen. while Dryden would be more of a mage hunter, learning from both Helias and Osin, being in the Mud Boy all the time.
With the mud boy.
Osen makes mud
So-
castles with this.
So he'd be
kid.
70, he'd give it to Lucy. He lives until the ripe age of 93. And the reason I decided not to have him live longer is because after Eleanor's quick and unexpected death at the hands of the Emperor, he realized that, and as well with the Raven Queen, that prolonging death is not something that she would want. Rather, life should be taken as it is. Death should happen naturally, not by any arcane or eldritch help. It just needs to be natural. So, rather than letting his last eldritch powers from the mix of Vakir and Rune let him live to 1,000 years, he decides to just be human and live his life. And at 93, he would pass away peacefully.
At some point during the life, you've watched most of your found family and family pass away, but you've also seen them leave behind wonderful legacies. For most of them. For you, for whoever's around, they gather for a funeral at the docks. They load the body of the previous leader of Tulog, Lex O'Hara, into a small rowboat full of kindling, weapons, gold, anything that was important to you and you did not leave behind. This last thing that's seen in life is the beautiful, elegant path of a flaming arrow firing towards your boat. Lex, you lived a good life. You stand out on a wide, expansive shoreline. You look, and it's familiar to you. It's the same place you washed up the first time, but there's a different feel to it. You look out at the waves. You do not see the raven cloak. You see a head cresting out of the waves. And the smiling face of Drungar. You see another. You see the smirking face of Vakir. You see more faces arising out of the surf. You see whoever in your party has passed before you. And they all stand there smiling at you. You see one last figure as they split and allow this one last figure to walk out of the surf. You see a cloak of black raven's feathers, longer, dark hair, bit of a paler complexion than your last remembering. But it is not the Raven Queen sent to usher you into the beyond. He watches Eleanor. He reaches out her hand, smiling at her only son. For a while. Son.
I hope I wasn't replaced as the favorite child. I was gonna say, if that's the case, I'm refusing you and going to the No. I've lived a good life. I thought it'd be cut short many times of my life, but at least I'm home again. And without hesitation, rather than a slow walk, he sprints, and rather than taking the hand, he jumps into his mom's arms. Aww. And I would also like to add that during his time both as a pirate and as a king, as a ruler, he basically wore the same mantle of raven feathers and cape that Eleanor had.
Black cloak.
Well,
Fur cloak.
yeah. Well, you had a cloak, he had a cape.
Last thing anyone who would be watching on would see is as the rest of the bodies disappear into the surf. Phantomies.
Oh god, I can't do this anymore.
Seth, I've sent you a text message.
Great. Do we want to pause real quick? It's been about an hour.
Uh,
Keep going, maybe?
No, keep going.
Alright,
Just
we'll
check
keep
your
it
text
rolling.
messages
I can
real
barely-
quick.
Yes.
Two down,
Oh,
7 to go.
I know.
Oh god, I need a drink.
How we doing, guys?
Barely fucking
Did
great.
I
We're not
do
even
good?
halfway there, y'all.
Did I-
We got
You
this.
did a good job, bud.
Not even
We're
Alright.
halfway there. Seth, did you see the text?
Not
message?
yet. Hope you like being a godmother. Hope you like being a godfather.
I'll just say it. As your epilogue is concluded, I sent the same message to Eleanor. You may level yourself up to level 20. But only those who have finished.
Oh, okay.
If you're
I know we already did, but again.
As you're
Level
going,
Kobe.
you can assume you're making your way up to that level.
Yes.
Okay.
But you will end at level 20.
Oh.
Phantomies.
Excuse me. Well, you all know the story. Little boy wanted to do good, praise the world, found new abilities, new friends, old friends. He just accomplished his greatest mission. And for the first few days, he kind of turns to Osen, asking for his help, restoring not only just the Empire, but the ones he's lost.
Osen will gladly do that.
I figured, because I don't know what reincarnate, how long it takes. I believe it takes a day.
It takes an hour, so I guess I will reincarnate all of Phantomies' friends for him.
I know-
There is a ritual involved in this.
Yes.
So I need you to make, as there are 3 dead friends, I need you to make 3 separate wisdom checks.
Am I willing to help since I'm right there?
I have a +5 to wisdom.
This is for Ignitus.
16.
This is going to be for,
Oh, that's fine.
6.
and this is going to be for Riolu.
Okay.
14.
Tug is unfortunately unable to return. However, Ignitus and Riolu are able to be returned.
Rilolu?
Riolu, sorry.
What race are they?
Yeah, what races are there?
I
Grace.
believe you get to roll.
Grace.
Roll some D100s.
Oh, D100?
D100s.
Oh, shit.
Grace, roll 2 D100s.
Oh.
Here.
Joe, can I borrow your
Here,
D100?
I already have D100.
Not the big
It's,
one. Not
Grace,
the big
it's
one.
percentile.
It's, yeah, it's percentile, not the big one.
I got it, don't worry.
I rolled a
And you also roll.
50.
You also roll it.
You
in the
roll a
ones.
D10 too.
Is for,
And a 10.
Ignitus.
So 60.
60.
50 and a 50 and a
No, it's
10.
a 0. It's
Zero.
just 50.
Zero.
It's
So
50.
No, 0 equals 10.
Yeah, but when it's
No,
combined.
not in a percentile.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So whichever one that one comes back as a rock gnome.
I guess that's Ignitus.
Yeah.
Nice. And
He's
roll
very unhappy about that.
I know.
I apologize profusely.
And what is Riolu?
Oh god.
We'll see.
An actual
Oh.
15.
15. Riolu is a mountain dwarf.
Yeah!
You've got some short friends.
Oh my god.
You know what?
I'll take
Riolu is alright with that.
Riolu. I kind of, even though Riolu is different,
Happy to hear
I'm
it.
immediately.
He looks a little.
I know he looks uneasy.
pretty similar to the way he was, just if it was superimposed over a different TV race.
I kind of like politely.
It's
It's like Uncanny Valley, like.
I kind of like.
His
because
face on
you
someone
know
else.
what they look like.
Yeah.
Yes.
I kind of politely kneel down because I don't know how tall he is.
Probably like 4 feet.
I probably like get down because I'm already 6'5", so I probably
You're
get.
6'5"?
I'm 6'5".
What?
I made this clear.
I thought it was short.
You didn't?
I thought it was in the beginning.
I thought I towered
Oh,
over you.
I mean, no, I towered over you.
It started at 6
No,
feet
you
at the beginning of the
Jasper
campaign.
always looked down her nose at you.
I kind of get down to him. It's the only way, buddy. I'm just glad you're okay.
I need you to make a persuasion check.
Oh, please, I hate these. 19!
It's alright. I mean, we didn't exactly know what we were going into, but that's what we asked for, I guess.
I know, but I'm just glad you're okay.
Yeah, I gotta reevaluate some things. I think I prefer the quiet life.
Me too.
Yeah, being an adventurer sucks.
When you say you will not retire. Poor
Oh,
guy.
I'm well beyond that.
Come on, we're going back to the
Oh,
shop.
God, and
As I kind of like
take you
politely,
back to the shop.
I offer him a piggyback ride for fun.
Alright.
Does he accept it?
You're short now.
Okay.
No.
Alright, but he before all that happened, when Prim stormed away, or not stormed away, but walked off, Osen, I kind of grabbed him by the shoulder. I know it was a lot to take in for her. I know I wasn't thinking straight, but I had to get it out. War does silly things. But I'll wait. I don't care how long. But as long as I know that they're okay.
War definitely does seem a lot less than it's cut out to be.
And that's why I officially retire. So, Phantomius immediately goes right home to Ehseara. No questions. But he tells you where he's going.
Of course.
He goes right home to find Celeste and his father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Celeste was in the battle, but was more on the outskirts. She did make it. Your father was not in the battle.
Yeah.
So he's been waiting, worried sick, that both his kids suddenly had to go out to war.
I'd say I'd meet with Celeste first where the Ehseara first arises, and I'd just give her the tightest fucking hug possible. Not rib crushing, but like brotherly, like holy
I don't know if
shit.
you could rib crushing.
Well, you know what I
your
mean,
sister.
right? No, but
Yeah.
I immediately like just bomb rush her,
Yeah. She
and I just start.
kind
sobbing.
of returns the intensity in the hug as brother and sister.
We kind of make our way home, knock on the door.
As the door opens, your father looks around at both of you and just
We're home.
throws both of you into a huge
We just dive
rib cracking fucking hug. Just family is big on hugs.
Oh yeah. Question for you: did I ever find the Warhammer of Eruptions?
Kaloris eventually did give it back to you.
Where would I be able to find? I'm trying to think of who I would do this with at the time. I'd probably say, where is Eleanor and Osen? This is about a month after.
Probably in Scally.
I would
Kind
probably
of building your orphanage, I guess.
Scally Wally.
I would say.
Well, I guess building the orphanage in the Empire then.
I'm still
Okay.
in the Empire. I've set
Okay.
up sort of an encampment to
Ah.
help
Alright.
refugees.
I'd probably
so they're
say.
kind of in the same place.
I'd probably say I invited both of you to the Ehseara, not just to hang out, but to. It's kind of like a retirement thing, like not really a retirement party, but for his own ritual. He'd invite all of you, but he specifically wants Osen and Osen, Estrella, Lex, Emberos. He wants everybody.
It's about a month out.
It's about a month out.
Jasper will be there.
That's fine.
Uh,
I'd say it's like a wish I was here thing, but I got other plans.
Yeah, you get
But no,
you get a check, like some birthday money.
The
the
Nah, I don't care. But he, of course, he goes back home to the Ehseara with everybody. but he takes the Warhammer of Eruptions and he built almost like a rack, like a beautiful rack, and he places it gently next to his mother, next to her shrine. As he kneels down, and Celine, I know, can hear me. I did it for her. And I bow my head, and
In that moment, you feel you've been living with this for a while, living with this presence. And you feel just a hand in yours. And you look down and there's nothing, but you feel her presence, Celine. She says, I know. And I don't know what she would say. I want to say thank you. And goodbye.
what do you mean goodbye?
I think it's time for me to see my son again.
I wish I could have found him.
You did.
I did.
But your friends did.
But what about Eleanor's mother?
That. I suppose that's a quest for another time.
I promise you, if you don't stay, I'll find her. In your name.
I believe you.
But you shouldn't be the one to thank me. I should be the one to thank you for helping me.
Both ways.
I kind of, at this point, begin to cry. Just white tears. As I guess she goes away.
The last thing you hear is, be well, Phantomies. You feel the hand slip out of yours, and the presence leave you with the strength, the abilities that you were gifted are left as a gift.
At this point, I know I'd probably say about a good 6 months have passed, or a good solid portion of time where Prim has her time to think.
Prim has not come to talk to you, and when talking with Ryodu, you get the idea that she doesn't want anything to do with you anymore.
Alright,
Her opinion is
I know it changed.
you led all of your unprepared friends into a slaughter, and just because you were able to bring them back does not change the fact that you got Tug killed and got Ryodu and Ignitus killed and almost got herself killed. She wants to move on.
And I respect it. I move forward in life, but I don't necessarily. Of course, everybody has their heartbreak, but I always find comfort in my family. I'd probably say Phantomius takes over or helps in the family business of Fenton's fiery weapons and forge and weaponry, but sometimes he takes some of the money and expands it into a dojo. Phantomius doesn't necessarily learn to fight. Well, not like a fighter, martial class monk, but a almost martial weapon gym where people can learn to fight from him. He'd probably ask Jasper, Frothy, possibly Lex, to come in and do some guest lessons if they choose.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll make them cry.
Absolutely.
Frog will make them question their existence on this reality.
I'm curious, is Lex a fun teacher or is
I'd
scary
say
like
Lex-
Jasper?
Lex is a fun. Lex is.
I'd
a
say
mix
it's
of
mostly-
Lex is a mix of both, actually.
I'd say it depends on who you're teaching. Some, like, of course, like, I do a lot of them, but I'd have you guys come in at some point and do their guesting. At some point in time, regarding no matter who it is, I'd probably check in on Kaylaris again. Make sure she's okay. Not who she wants to go to make sure she is okay.
Laris is alright. A lot of this will come up, I'm sure, in Jasper's epilogue. But she needed a lot of time to process what happened.
I agree.
And for a solid, about maybe half a year, she took some time to herself. You never heard of her mercenary, though. You get word that she didn't settle down, per se, but she chose a calmer life. Something that she can enjoy. At least for that time period.
Might I ask what that would be? If I'm allowed to know.
She tried blacksmithing and was not great at it.
Did she ever come to me for lessons?
She tried to use what you taught her before, but was too proud to come to you again. I think Kaylaris, for the time being,
Is alone.
just goes from job to job, trying to see what she enjoys.
So she's trying to find
goes
a-
from farming to
No way!
from weaving, and is not great at that
I
either.
would say she's good at weaving.
She's not great at a lot of these
Would she
jobs.
be interested in coming in for a teaching lesson at all?
She does work as a guard at a certain point,
Oh.
but also quits that eventually. She goes from a lot of jobs and quits.
Alright. I would say for the time being then, Phantomius goes down to Tulsa back to the exotic pet store. Is that axolotl still there?
How many years have you been?
It's been since the battle.
Since
Been
from
about-
the battle, from the point to when you went back to the store.
6 months. If it's not there, it's fine.
Yeah, it didn't die, but someone already picked it up.
Is there another one?
Probably, yeah.
I kind of walk over to the tank, see if any of them come my way,
A few of them do, yeah.
and I envision the one I already met. Just looking into the tank.
You ever adopt it?
I do. Is there a white wolf cub or any white wolf?
That would
thing
be
at
more
all?
of. That would be something you would probably talk to the O'Haras about, as that probably is something that's
I'd
pretty
probably do
frequent.
that.
But you do
Probably,
eventually
yeah,
get
'cause I
one.
couldn't-
I was,
I forgot.
yeah. So I would have an axolotl,
What?
and I named it Dragapult.
Dragon Hole?
Dragapult, like the Pokemon.
Like Council?
It was Joe's idea.
It's a Pokemon.
Fucking farmer.
It was your idea, and
I didn't even follow through with it.
I'd say I'd probably like knock on where Ambrose is, like just to, like where it is, depending on how far he is in construction. Just
Yes, who is it?
you have a little friend.
Do those things live up in water?
They can.
Okay.
Oh
They can.
my,
No, but I brought him in the little tank.
oh my goodness, you actually got it.
Well, it's not the same one. It's not the same one, but I did name it the name we talked about.
You know, I could raise the old one for you if you want.
You know what? I think this one's happy.
Your loss, buddy.
And that's why you're a good friend, is I like lightly tap him on the shoulder.
But you tapped me on the shoulder, I freaking real bad because I'm a bitch.
Stay gold.
Take 10 hit points.
The white wolf cub, I do name it Cosmo. Over the Cosmos. Not my dog, but I do name it Cosmo.
You should get another one and name it Wanda.
No.
Oh my god. And then you'll
No.
continue Turner.
No. No. But, I'd say about 10 years down the line, Phantomius does settle down with a girl. I don't know exactly the ins and outs yet, but I imagine she would be an elf. Beautiful, green, yellow, ombre dyed hair. And hopefully, if Kenny's okay with this, name her Andromeda. Andromeda Melee. It's not the other one I told you about.
We
Or can
can
I
talk
say-
about that. We can talk about that later.
I want to let you know it's not the same. It's just the name I came up with originally.
Weird.
And he has a set of twins.
Oh god.
One,
All the kids, man.
the oldest son. His name is Odyssey, or Odysseus, but his real name is Odyssey. Fenton. And the daughter is named Nova Jasper.
You bitch! Nova Jasper?
Nova Jasper Fenton.
Oh, I miss
And
little children
I
now.
forgot to say Odyssey's middle name is Giddy.
There's one.
Your
Giddy.
whole party is having children and throwing them in your lap.
Like, why do I keep getting these?
No, because you're strong. It's named after you.
Yeah, but
The
now,
middle name is named after you.
now I have to give this child attention.
No,
And arms are gonna
So,
Oh my god.
Odyssey.
What does
For parents.
Odyssey he was quite. He spends his whole life in Ehseara. He's retired, so he does that.
Phantomius does this?
Phantomius spends the rest of his life with his wife, 2 kids.
Because for your kids, You'll
You'll get that.
Yeah.
He trains Odyssey in some magic. Just some of the gifts I've received over the years. And I taught him good fights. Probably during the guest lessons, everybody came in and did their thing. Nova got Phantomius' very good rage skills and barbarian physique, but is lighthearted and sings. And she plays a very good lute or viol. It's a viol. Sorry, it's a viol. And Phantomius also studies up on his mythology, which we on here, as he continues his work in the forge. One day, probably, say I'm about 42 now, or 45. I don't know exactly how old Odin would be, but I'd imagine he doesn't have a lot of time left.
He does eventually pass away.
How old would you say I'd be?
How old is,
Phantomius now would be 42.
how old was he throughout the campaign?
He was around his early 50s.
In the start of the
Through
campaign?
the campaign?
Oh, throughout the campaign, he was like 50, period.
He was in his, Phantomius was in
At the
his-
start of the campaign. How
Yeah,
old
he was
he?
50.
Your dad?
Yeah, my dad was 50.
No, Phantomius.
you!
Oh, Phantomius was 20.
Dude!
Phantomius was 20.
Yes.
I was gonna say, if he was older.
I'm sorry, I misheard your question.
I'm Phantomius. I'm chest
I'm
hair.
Phantomius. I just have a hernia.
I'm sorry, I misheard the question.
So Odin eventually passes away when you were in your 60s.
Okay. I took Lex up on being a not temporary, but guest advisor, coming to and from the place every now and again. Before all that happens, when Phantomius is still in his primer days, before the kids, before the wife. Sits down with Jasper whenever he got the chance. Treat her to a bunch of drinks.
I think she
maybe
starts
ask
to
her to
tell
a 1v1.
Oh, absolutely. Can we roll to see who wins?
I'm gonna say roll a dexterity check for me.
Is
You
this
roll a strength check.
strength?
I think my dex is just straight dex.
Do I get a rage
Plus
from this or
five.
no?
No.
Okay. You?
13.
16.
Fantomius, for all your shit talking, beats you for the first time.
I would say
every year.
I would
That's
like
so
to
cool.
watch that.
Huh?
as like she's down on the ground and she says that, I like extend my hand.
Grabs it.
As
Come here, bud.
As I will say, I did draw Fantomius.
Oh,
This is him now.
Nice.
He's looking good.
Yeah,
Look at him.
Everyone's got
He does have a
beards.
very nice,
Yeah, Jasper's gonna
kind of like
the
my
biggest
beard.
beard, y'all.
Like it's
Oh, yeah, I
not
didn't
too
show
light,
you.
it's not too heavy.
King Lab.
Oh my god.
It's
in
Celeste
Snapchat.
always comes to visit with the kids. Takes care of them when I go to the Empire. And for Osam and Estrella, depending on what they do with their children, when they were little all the way up until now, we'd always meet up so the kids can hang out, so they can play, and the adults can talk and have a drink. And Estrella can be married to Fantomius and him back. One day, probably say when he was 70, Mjolnir, I kind of take Mjolnir and I put it down to see if either of my children are worthy.
I don't think either of them are.
I would say
You lived your life projecting a lot of positivity.
What did they do?
That is up to me and the intern, I guess. But for these roles, either of them are.
Alright. I would say before Fantomius passes away, obviously when he's like in his 70s, he takes Mjolnir, puts on a beautiful pedestal, covers it up, like politely, but it is still able to like be removed and used. But on it says, "Don't pretend." As on his deathbed, at how old would you say I'd be? Like 90 something?
80 or 90s.
I'd probably say, can I just roll a d6? 95.
Damn.
He's with his family. I don't know if Celeste has died or not.
Celeste was the younger sister, or the older sister.
Or,
She has passed away.
Fantomius kind of looks at his children. Weak and stayed, but he turns to them all, whoever's left. He looks towards Nova. He gives her a very nice little pep talk and slides her a music that she wrote about her father and performed for years. She starts to hum it tearfully. Odyssey, Fantomius grabs jokingly his autobiography that he just wrote.
No way,
He didn't sell it. He didn't sell it. He just wrote it.
Oh, I
And he gives it to his son
So cute.
as he gives both of them like one more like caress around the chin, cheek. The story is never over. Be sure to tell them all. As he doesn't fall back, but he gets ready.
You'll get there.
As he turns to whoever's left, including them.
It's your turn.
Thank you.
Are we out?
As a tear rolls down his face. For loving me.
That
As he passes away.
Phantomius passes to beyond. You eventually, one by one, friends and family, eventually meet you on the other side.
Where am I?
You probably found yourself within a large jungle outcropping. Just moving your way through. And eventually found a small cottage. It looks almost identical to the home you've lived your life in. It is a reminder of the life lived, but that was my story. I'm ready to move on to the next.
Spencer's in the cottage. Is there anybody in there?
You go to the cottage.
That's lightning.
Mjolnir's
World's
talking.
ending. World's ending.
Mjolnir's talking to us, guys. Yeah.
Don't I hate thunder?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Whoa.
Boy,
Damn.
that was a big boy.
sick.
That was
Yeah,
one
that's
for
the thing,
Phantomius.
That was for
Sick.
Phantomius, man.
Yeah.
That's for you,
Long
Mjolnir.
rain.
So who's in the cottage?
Thor's, please.
He is.
In the cottage, you find no one.
Not even my mother.
You do not find your mother there. No.
So nobody's there at all.
Seems as if those who needed this cottage have already moved on. Moved on to new life.
Is there any remnants of anybody that was in there that would be familiar?
Of course, you see the strewn about state of the home, how you left it. You find what is almost a representation of that hammer with a cloth over it.
He would probably say before he takes a seat. There are plenty of stories just waiting to be told. As he sits down and fills out the rest of his afterlife. And that is the final chapter for the tale of Phantomius.
Do we want to
I need a break.
pause?
I can't do
Yeah.
this anymore.
Come on, we're at an hour and
I'm gonna
30.
have to go home because it's
I
probably
kinda
oh
need to go.
shit!
I'm next.